You are about to see the most incredible doll ever invented. Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world.
I'm a real girl, just like you.
What's the time?
Playtime!
You ever look back on something and think maybe you should have done things differently? Like, maybe if you hadn't been so curious, things would have been different? Every night, when I closed my eyes, I could see that old VHS tape. And that's where it all started. It was just sitting there on my desk, worn out, covered in dust, like it hadn't been touched in years. I should have just ignored it, but I didn't. I don't know why. But I spent so much time at that factory, Playtime Co. So many years down the drain to that old place. Well, I don't know what I was expecting. But I popped that old VHS tape into the player, hit the play button, and I was right there again. Back in the lobby of Playtime Co. Stale air. Something watching me. Something intense. Well, when the screen flickered to life, there I was. Playtime Co. But this time it was different. Posters were peeling off the wall, dust covered everything. Just a old, abandoned building. Didn't feel like it used to, but it felt like something was watching me. Then, all of a sudden, this guy named Leith Pierre comes through the PA system and tells me, "You're trespassing. Leave now or there'll be consequences." Well, I don't remember that in all my time there, but it's too late. I can't turn back. I pushed forward and I found the first puzzle. It was a keypad blocking the door. I must have tried a million combinations and none of them worked. Then, just when I was getting ready to give up, I found this train. The train cars were the color code to open the door. I punched it in and the door slid open. Well, as soon as it opened, I noticed the coolest thing that I had ever seen. I didn't recognize it, but it was called a GrabPack. And legitimately, it's just like those old sticky hands you used to get from the vending machine as a kid. You know, the ones where you'd like lick it and slap your buddy with it. Well, except this was a backpack on your back. You can use it to give high fives. Although the one that I was given only had one hand, not the other one. So it didn't matter. I could still use it. Well, I grabbed the bag, right? And I go into the atrium in the next room. And there's this big guy, and there's a plaque in the middle, and it says he's called Huggy Wuggy. Well, Huggy Wuggy looked like he was looking for a high five, so gave him a couple of good high fives, and then out of sheer boredom, maybe I hit him in some places that wasn't high five appropriate places. Well, after being bored for a little bit, I continued on and realized that the only way I was going to get through the door was to power these doors. So I started looking around for a way to power this. Well, in the room that was right next to the atrium, there was a power input and a power output. I was able to use my hand to connect the power input to the power output. And in doing so, I also made a cool Christmas tree looking light configuration. Everything comes on, and I see the lights in the atrium come up. So I go back in the atrium. Except when I get in there, this big Huggy Wuggy guy isn't there anymore. Well, I now start thinking, did I just create a workplace violation? And, well, I gotta go apologize to him really quickly. I didn't know it was real. So I start walking down a hallway, and I'm kind of like, ooh, what's going on? While I'm walking down the hallway, I get scared. The pipe bursts. There's some other noises I'm not familiar with. Just super crazy experience. But I get to a main toy area. In there is the other hand for my grab bag. I solve a quick little puzzle, get that, and now I have two hands. So I give myself high fives. But I slide down a chute, and I go into kind of like a Build-A-Bear place where there's sprayers and toy making devices, all this cool stuff to be able to make toys. I flip all the levers and I succeed in making the toy. I grab it and I head to the exit. I slam the toy on a little toy scanner because apparently nobody's allowed to leave without a toy, and the door opens. As the door opens, I walk through this doorway, which, by the way, fire safety hazard. If you can't open that without a toy in a fire, you'd be dead. But I walk through the doorway, and as I walk through the doorway, something massive, a huge silhouette comes through, and it's Huggy Wuggy, and he looks extremely angry. And I start apologizing immediately. I didn't know you were real. I didn't know you were real. I am so sorry. Please don't report me to HR. He looks like he's gonna murder me. So, doing the only acceptable thing, I try to defuse the situation by turning and running as absolutely fast as I possibly can. Well, as I'm running through here, I end up inside of vents, and I go through a corridor, and then I go around another corridor, and I go through another area. And just as I fall out of the corridors and the vents and into a gangway, I notice that there's a box at the top, and I go to grab that box, and I'm hoping I'm just gonna block him from being able to get me. And I go to pull it down, and instead of just hitting the gangway and stopping him, it crashes through him and the gangway, and he falls down, bloody, sprawled out. And there's this big splatter of blood at the bottom. And I yelled, "Dude, I didn't do that. That's on you, buddy. You'll need to be the one that tells HR about that." Well, I thought that was the end. I really did. And as I went through one last corridor, I found this case. And sitting there, inside of the case, was a strange doll with curly red hair and blue eyes. And I opened it. And that's when I heard it speak. "You opened my case." And then nothing. Everything went black. It didn't feel like this was the end. It felt like this was just the beginning. And that was Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. If you liked it, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!